Hello, welcome to Story Time with Juggling Jeff. Man, I did one other story time. It was at a library many, many years ago, and it was billed as Story Time with Juggling Jeff because I used to do shows there at the library as Juggling Jeff, but they would be comedy juggling shows. And then we thought, hey, we could do one of the story times and we could just have I'll just come back and we'll just read stories. It's during the winter, there wasn't a whole lot going on. And so we built it as story time with Juggling Jeff. I show up, I read several books, and when it's all about to end, one of one of the one of the parents was like, "Where's the juggling?" And we're like, "No, it's story time with it's that's what this is." And she's like, "Right, it's story time with juggling, Jeff." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't bring any of the juggling stuff. We just brought books. But if you would like some juggling, here's an orange and here's a rock, and we'll do a little juggling." Aw, you cracked it. I was kidding, it's fine. Anyway, this is not that. It's not a juggling show. This is story time. And I'm really excited to do this. For years, people have been asking me for an audio version of Blueprint for Value, and it's just not been able to happen yet. The timing has not been right. So here we go with the informal reading right here on YouTube where I get to see you. And because we're doing it informally, there's going to be a whole lot of other tangents like story time with Juggling Chef. So here we go. Blueprint for Value number one. We're gonna break this up so you can watch this intro, and then you can watch each one of the habits as standalone. They'll all be individual videos. Once we finish the book, I'll put it all together as one big file. But for right now, as we roll them out, one habit per video. In the beginning, Blueprint for Value 52 Habits to Discover and Strengthen Your Personal Worth by Jeff Koziatek. That's me, executive coach and keynote speaker at Core Authenticity. This was written to my wife, Brandy, who loves me for me, not for my successes, my circumstances, or failures. I'm so grateful to be sharing life with you with all my love. And I really mean that. It's not just a reading thing. She totally rocked my world when she didn't want to listen to hours of debriefing about shows and projects. I was like, wait, you mean to tell me that you like me for me, not just what I can do? It was amazing. I had not met very many people like that before her. It was very, very cool. Also, to my sons, Kale and Aiden, who inspire me daily to live a bold, authentic life. I love you both and will always be on your team, fighting alongside you, mentoring you, and cheering you on as you pursue your dreams. I do love them a lot, a lot, a lot. Very proud of what they're doing. And finally, to my parents who stood up for me and encouraged me to pursue what was in my heart. Thank you. Yeah. Before my mom passed, she told me the story when I was in high school. One of my friend's parents asked her, "Hey, when are you going to tell Jeff to stop this dreaming thing and go get a real job? Like pursue that." Because at the time I was very much into acting, everything that was about becoming a film actor. And my mom said that she told her, "We're going to support Jeff as long as this is what he wants to do. And if he changes his mind and wants to do something else, we'll support that also." My mom was an incredible advocate, and I cannot thank them enough for their support, even as I pursued a career in art. I understand that's very, very uncommon. Okay, we've got this book. It's been divided into 4 chapters. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4. Engage, equip, empower, and encourage. Before we get into that, here are the acknowledgments. It's very important. This book exists because of a fantastic team of individuals who have been honest with me, provided me opportunities, cared for me, encouraged me, and believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. All of that, 100% true. Big thank you to my editing team. Lisa Brown, Katie Chatfield, Corey Edwards, Stephanie Kennedy, Brandy Koziatek, my wife, Mary Pullman, John Worley, and Mark Williams. I am an external processor. This is also true. And your feedback was invaluable. To my coach, Jeff Arthur, appreciate you, who shined a light in the darkness, supported me, encouraged me, and equipped me for success. No joke, completely changed the foundation that I was standing on. And as a result of that, changed the direction of my life. Not to be overly dramatic. To Steve Hughes, who took me under his wing and helped me find my footing as a speaker. Steve is another speaker also in the National Speakers Association, and Steve really took me under his wing when I first got going, and he showed me some of the ropes and made some connections. Steve was great. To Robin Hatcher, Dawn, Michelle, and Bob Pakanowski for your encouragement to write this book. The three of you, this book, yeah, it was very easy to get distracted and think about other things and want to do other things, but the three of you kept me on track, and your encouragement and support to write this really helped make this a reality. To Cleveland Mack for the cover design, Stephanie Kennedy, my cousin, for the amazing cover art. Look at that, the blueprint and what we see, which we'll get into more in a little bit. And Linda Rivard for the cover photography in the back. She did that. Linda's awesome. Also, a great person to have margaritas and nacho chips with. And to my family for believing in me and giving me time to pursue my passion and write this book. If you've ever written a book, you understand it can be time consuming. So the fact that my family gave me the extra time at night and on the weekends to work on this book really means a lot. And last but not least, to God for his pursuit, his mercy, and love. Yeah, and we'll get more into that in a little bit. Okay, introduction. We must see value in ourselves before we can see it in others. Our personal worth, our value forms the foundation of our thoughts, behaviors, decisions, and relationships, both personally and professionally. So here's the thing. This is why this is an informal reading. When I wrote this book back in 2018, I looked at worth and values as interchangeable. That is something I completely disagree with today in 2026. Worth and values are not the same. Value is what you bring to relationships. It's what you bring to the marketplace. That can change and does change. Your worth as a human being is unchangeable, and that is separate from the value you bring to others. So as we read through this book, you're going to hear me course correct that as we go. It's very important for you to know right up front, worth is you, and that is unchanging. Value is what you bring to the marketplace and to relationships. We all have intrinsic value, worth, that never changes. However, our perception of it can and does change. Throughout this book, I'll be referring to the perception of value, worth, as your personal worth account, or PWA. That can be grown or depleted through deposits or withdrawals. When our PWA is low, we can easily hide from our feelings in addictions. We can view ourselves as worthless. We can treat others as if they are worthless. We protect and justify our external value, fight to earn more external value or worth. We can avoid situations where external value or worth can be lost or stolen. We inflate our perceived worth. We flaunt our perceived worth. Inflate it, flaunt it. We can avoid associations with people we see as having less worth than ourselves. We can judge others, spend time in constant comparison, compete when there is no competition at all, and yet we're still driven to compete. We can lose hope, and we can start to see everything as somebody else's fault. We fall into the blame game. We don't take responsibility or ownership. But don't panic. Do not panic. Bring a towel. There is another way. Your worth is not linked to a circumstance, success, failure, or appearance. As I mentioned, your worth is internal. It never changes. It cannot be lost, stolen, increased, or decreased. I want to help you experience more of your internal worth by changing how you see yourself. You are holding a compilation, that's this, of 52 uncommon common sense habits. These are 52 uncommon common sense habits that can help you build your personal worth account, your PWA, and they've been organized into four categories: engage, equip, empower, and encourage. That's the four chapters. Engage with yourself to discover the why behind your actions, thoughts, and feelings. Equip yourself with the right tools for the right job. Empower yourself with opportunities to lead, succeed, or fail without judgment. And encourage yourself to continue forward and make course corrections along the way. You have immeasurable worth simply because you are alive. This book is not meant to be an exhaustive deep dive into any one particular habit. There are incredible books out there on mindset, presence, attitude, choice, diet, and purpose. Rather, this book should be a field guide, serving as a reminder of a habit you forgot, a refresher of why a habit is important, or a guide to a new habit you might adopt. Please use Blueprint to help discover and strengthen your PWA, your personal worth account. Blueprint for Value was designed as a quick reference guide. Although it is not intended to be read cover to cover, there is no wrong way to read the book. No wrong way. So after we get all these videos out, you can watch habit 2 and then jump to habit 14 and then jump to habit no, you couldn't jump to 67 because there is no 67. You could jump to 52 and then 48 and then 60. Oh man, I always want to go. We're going to have to write another book. For this, I want you to take your time, spend a week developing one habit, or you could flip through at random and surprise yourself. Or whenever you feel overwhelmed and stressed, just use this book to find a habit that will get you back on track. Or if you're lacking focus or having difficulty making decisions, dig into your foundation with Engage. When you don't feel adequately prepared, look over Equip. If you're dragging your feet and making excuses that are holding you back, motivate yourself with the Empower section. And last but not least, if you are facing criticism internally or externally and challenges, refresh yourself with the Encourage section. The habits do not build on each other. You can begin this book in chapter 1 or 4 or anywhere in between. This book is here for you. Pull yourself off the battlefield, remember your worth, grab some habits, and then get back out there. Get back out there. The world needs your unique perspective and talents. You are worth it. You have value. And you have worth, and you bring value to others. That is how we read the book. And without any further ado, that brings us to chapter 1, which we will have in the next video. I'm Jeff Koziatek, your executive coach and keynote speaker with Core Authenticity. Thank you so much for watching. I cannot wait to dive into the rest of all of these habits. We've got 52 of them, so we're going to spend a little bit of time together. As we go through this, I would love to hear from you. So you can always send me an email, jeff@coreauthenticity.com. You can message me on LinkedIn. You can pop a comment in the YouTube comment section below. I would love to know what you're reading, how the habits are impacting you, and the results you're getting. So until next time, be bold, be authentic, be you.